There we go. Hello and welcome back to Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Spirit of Justice. When we left off, we were in the middle of episode 4. Where I'm not sure if it's unusual that we have a case that started out with a trial rather than an investigation and seems to be like moving right along. Like there might not be an investigation, it might just be one day of trial. We'll find out. So, not wind, not gale. No, it was wind. Wendo Tornado was revealed to have dissociative identity disorder, which I immediately thought, oh, they've done that before in this game. And then, under careful consideration, I guess they haven't. I guess it's just come up in a bunch of other games that I've played. Most notably Danganronpa. But then this series has had, there's just so many people who change personality, like, because they seem one way and then they turn out to be the killer, so, you know, they have that sort of change. That's not a personality change per se. We had Bobby Fulbright, who was like, okay, he had a mental disorder that wasn't dissociative identity disorder. It was something else. We've had other people who have had mental issues. Adrian Andrews. We've had people of Yanni Yogi, although he was faking it. I always go back to Matt Engard, who spends like half of the case seeming like a ditz guy, and then turns around and goes, "Mwahaha, actually, I've been evil the whole time," which seems like a multiple but it's not. And then, to say nothing of all the people who, you know, like Maya channeling Mia, where it's like, oh, okay, I have another person. Well, it's not really another personality. It's just a whole different character comes in. The sisters from Case 2-2, yeah, that too, where it's like, oh, okay, it was you changed personalities because you were pretending to be someone else, and then so there's just so many. They've danced around it so many times. This is the first time that they've said, nope, we're just gonna have this person have multiple personalities. I don't know. And it's strange that, like, when they showed up, they immediately had, like, the three different ways of posturing and acting. It wasn't like they tried to hide it and, like, to go, oh, this person has the one way that they act around you, but then secretly they have this other person. They're, like, just right out of the gate, they just seemed like they were switching attitudes, and they were like, oh, no, actually, I'm not sure why they had to, I guess they had to make it a disorder in order to have the fourth one that was like, oh, okay, this is different, though. He unconsciously switched over to the fourth personality, and it doesn't share memories, because, I don't know, I may be overthinking it. Let's just go ahead. I recommend a therapy session right away. I see. Yes, please do whatever you can to help the poor boy. Will do, Your Honor. I better find the cause of these out-of-control emotions pronto. So this is Owen, the fourth personality. Shisho was standing with a knife in his hand. Blood was dripping onto Shisho's face, getting it all red. I couldn't move at all. I was so scared, I passed out. Poor kid. He's absolutely terrified of something. Whatever it is, it might be the root cause of his out-of-control emotions. I'd better take another careful look at the images. Why would he have been standing? No. Okay, I get it. If blood was dripping, why is it going that way? He couldn't have been standing. Oops. Go back. I don't know how that causes the root cause of turmoil. But it counts. Yeah, blood was dripping down onto Shisho's face. Blood? I don't remember seeing any blood in the crime scene photos. Oh, is the contradiction that there was blood? I guess there's that too. Besides, if the victim was standing upright, how could blood drip down onto his face? As I expected, all we managed to obtain from this child is a tale he dreamt up. I guess it's a little weird for blood to drip onto the victim's face if he was standing up. Hey, Faded. Unless it dripped down from the ceiling or something? What do you think, Simon? I don't know. Hello, Serp. Owen's one confused and upset kid right now, so who knows how accurate his memory is. Maybe it's time for that thing instead. Huh? What thing? That thing that you and your cohorts do. What do you call it? Rotate your thinking about. Oh, you mean turn the chessboard around. Yes, whatever. It's the same thing either way. No, it isn't. Who's ever heard of rotating your... She's taking real issue. You can't kurikaisu, you have to gyakten. I mean, rotate is... Hey, wait a minute. What? You know what, Simon? In this case, I think rotate just might work perfectly after all. Come again? All I have to do is rotate things by 90 degrees. When he saw his master, Owen must have been... The morphogenetic field! People were forcing him to do a handstand. Oh my god, it's actually 999. No. Owen must have been lying on the floor when he witnessed his master's murder. What? That's the conclusion I've arrived at when I rotated my thinking by 90 degrees. Which means that all of the chess pieces fell off. Touchdown. Which means that all of the visuals in my matrix were off by 90 degrees. And? This means Master Tornado was also lying on the floor, which solves another mystery. And which mystery is that? The mystery of how blood could have been dripping onto the victim's face. It becomes much easier to imagine how that could happen if he was lying down. Like someone bleeding onto Master Tornado from somewhere up above him. I remember now. Allow me to amend my testimony. I remember now. Someone was sitting up on top of Shisho. So trying to recall his master's bloody killer is what spooked Owen originally. That blood that stained the victim's face red came from the person sitting on top of him. The victim was holding a knife, so he likely nicked his attacker as he was fighting back. This means that his assailant was injured on their face somewhere, like the forehead, perhaps. Assuming the victim and his attacker were face to face, then yes. I see. So that is what happened. But if I recall correctly, the accused has a fresh bandage on his forehead, does he not? Man, that's good memory. That injury of Mr. Wetz is conclusive. Well. It's quite speculatory. Incredibly circumstantial. Conclusive evidence that he committed this murder. Why? Because you're in Phoenix Wright game. That's why. It seems you have dug yourself into a pit you cannot crawl out of. No! Even though I figured out the reason for Owen's out-of-control emotions, all I did was raise further suspicion against my own client. What do I do now?
What's the matter? You aren't thinking of throwing in the towel, are you?
But it looks so bad for Bucky. I mean, he had both motive and opportunity. Plus, he has that injury on his forehead. Your Honor, I sense that the defense is finally ready to let it go and move on.
Well, Miss Sykes, I understand that you don't want to give up on your client, but I won't allow you to prolong this trial without a good reason.
Well, that lawyer did her best, but all signs point to the defendant's guilt. Maybe it's time she gave up. She tried everything she could. I really, really don't want to back down, but...
Athena, are you having doubts about Bucky's innocence?
I wouldn't say that. It's just...
Do you remember what you said to Bucky earlier this morning?
You mean you believe in me, Bab? Of course. No matter what, I'll believe in you to the very end.
Were those just empty words?
Of course not. It's just that all the cards are stacked against us. That's it! Cards!
Are you still stuck on that line of thinking?
Whoa! It's not okay. Remember the basics of CQC.
Motive, opportunity, and an injury to his forehead. Is that all it takes to make you stop believing in your client? Tell me again, who are you to Bucky?
I'm his Ms. Chickadee lawyer.
Then do your duty, and believe in him until the very end.
I will. Simon's absolutely right. I'm Bucky's lawyer, and he's depending on me, and you're not allowed to just grab people and shake them in a courtroom. The bailiff will tackle you.
Defense team, please. No fighting in my courtroom.
The defense is ready to resume, Your Honor. Prosecutor Blackwell was just giving me a pep talk, that's all. A hands-on pep talk. Without consent. Thank you, Prosecutor.
I didn't do it for your sake. I did it for the future of Wetsoba.
Yeah, I got it. The defense would like to now... Would like to now continue? Would like to now continue with Owen's therapy session.
Owen, would you be alright with that?
Okay. So somebody was sitting up on top of Shisho, bleeding from their head, and smushing something into Shisho's face. That's funny. No fighting in my courtroom except when the prosecutor brings a whip, or when the prosecutor throws coffee mugs, or when the prosecutor uses mystic arts to strangle people with his beads. All of those things. You forgot the katana. You forgot, you forgot having a katana and sicking a trained attack bird on people. I still hear discord in Owen's voice, but I don't sense any inconsistencies between his statements and his emotions, and there don't seem to be any contradictions in his testimony itself, either.
So that's it, huh?
Did you figure something out?
Your ability to sense emotions is making you focus too much on his feelings, Athena. But there's actually something he's being very vague about in his testimony. If you can clarify what he's feeling uncertain about, with some evidence, you should be able to move forward from there.
Okay, that makes sense. I'll give it a try. I'll just update the mood matrix with the new information, and then we'll be ready to go. So I just need to present some evidence on what Owen is being vague about, huh? He's being vague about who it was. Blood on his face. Knife in his hand. Oh, smushing something. Okay, maybe that's it. should manifest as something Owen isn't being specific about.
What's the matter?
Okay. Okay. I'm thinking. Okay. Just don't know which piece of evidence will pull the info I need to the surface. Can't solve this with a rigid thought process. Trying... Needing my mind is not sober though. But... Okay. Okay. I didn't mean to get to this. Come on. Is it going to be the soba making instructions? Because I like to hint. Is it a mochi? Oops. Almost hit present on that. That's not cool. Alright, so pretty much the only thing it can be is that, like, there's nothing else that even comes close. Let's put a name to the thing Owen's uncertain of, shall we? By identifying the murder weapon that was used to suffocate the victim. Fortunately for us, I spy the murder weapon right here in this crime scene photo. Unfortunately for you, I spy nothing of the sort. And the police did not spy anything of the sort during their investigation either. Pray tell, where is this murder weapon you see? You don't see it because it no longer looks the way it did when it was used as a weapon. Is it going to be they suffocated him with soba dough and then afterwards made it into some tasty noodles in order to hide the weapon? The mystery person that Owen saw pressed soba into the victim's face, thereby suffocating him. I grow weary of your tasteless jokes. How could anyone commit murder with soft, delicate soba? The noodles would instantly fall apart if they were pressed into someone's face.
Yes, I agree.
Well, I disagree. There is a way the soba could have been used to suffocate the victim.
What? You will explain your theory at once, Miss Sykes.
To kill Mr. Tornado, the culprit must have smothered him with uncut soba dough. The culprit must have used the soba before it was cut into noodles. In other words, the murder weapon was raw soba dough.
What?
If this is true, this is... I mean, it is a Phoenix Wright game, but it's still pretty silly. I'll hide the murder weapon. I mean, I could just put it in my pocket and leave with it, but no, I shall finish the soba making process in order to disguise the murder, even though somebody witnessed it.
Order in the court. Yes, soba dough could definitely be used to suffocate someone, couldn't it?
Are you all right, Prosecutor Sadmati? I was just letting the soul of the victim know that the accused will finally face justice thanks to the foolish lawyer before me. Huh? What are you talking about? Allow me to summarize your statements. As the accused was killing the victim, he was slashed in the face by the victim's knife. The weapon he used to suffocate the victim was the dough in the dressing room. He then disposed He then disposed of the murder weapon by cutting the soba dough into noodles.
Why, you smarmy.
Afterwards, the accused put the victim's face into the bowl of soba noodles and broth to wash off the blood that had dripped onto the victim's face from his own. And there you have it, the true sequence of events behind this foul affair. Now wait just a moment. I never once said that Mr. Wet was the culprit. Who but the accused knows how to cut dough into noodles? Defense. Man. All evidence up until now was circumstantial, but this is conclusive. He knew how to cut dough. Gurk.
That's a very good point, Prosecutor Satmati. I heard that cutting soba dough into uniform noodles requires considerable training.
Of course. 6 years in soba cutting school. No less.
But then what about the dying message? How do you explain that? The defendant wouldn't have known about Windows' Owen personality.
Perhaps the victim was simply playing with the cards and they hold no other meaning.
It was just a coincidence.
Perhaps he spelled out Owen's name in jest, sometime before the murder.
That's true. From Owen's testimony, it's clear that Master Tornado cared for the boy. It appears we've arrived at a compelling conclusion. Does it? Taken together, all of these points paint a convincing picture of the defendant's guilt.
Sometimes things just happen by themselves, therefore the defendant is guilty. Bolton Face has got the right idea. Maybe there was a meteor shower. If there was, he's guilty. Owen, is there anything else you can tell us? It doesn't matter how small of a detail, anything will do. Ooh, you're scaring me. Oh, I'm sorry, Owen. Auntie Athena didn't mean to raise her voice. I have to be gentler with him. I can't forget he's only 5 years old. No need to be scared, okay, sweetie? Just tell us anything you can remember. Well, when I woke up, the person who killed Shisha was standing over me, bleeding from their head. Okay, tell us who it was. Owen, you saw the killer's face? Oops, I did it again. Played with your heart. So who was it, Owen? Do you remember? Well, why did we even ask? Oh, okay. Ooh, I don't know who it was. I'm picking up some noise. That means there's still something to uncover in Owen's testimony. I don't know what Owen saw, but suffice it to say we are analyzing the dreams of a child. You've wasted enough of our time, defense. Let it go and move on. No, there's still discord in Owen's heart that needs to be addressed. Therefore, I can't give in here.
Owen, do you think you can continue your testimony for us?
Okay. I'll enter the new info and run an update then. No, don't run an update, then Windows is gonna have to restart. We're gonna be here for days. Shisho had blood on his face and a knife in his hand, sad and surprised. Thump. He was on the floor, and somebody was smushing dough into his face. But why weren't you happy? Everybody likes dough. This is a contradiction. This 5-year-old fragment personality is emotionally disturbed. I have to psychoanalyze. I couldn't move at all. I was so scared, I passed out. And when I woke up, the person who killed Shisho was standing over me. And that made you happy? Despite witnessing the culprit's terrible crime firsthand, Owen experienced a positive feeling, one of relief. The person the witness saw was no stranger. Rather, it was the accused. Therefore, it is only natural that he felt some level of relief when he saw a familiar face. Defense, end this madness and sully your soul no longer. Owen, who did you see? Wait, now that we asked him before, he's like, I don't know. We're like, you seemed happy. Who did you see? He's like, oh, now I'll tell you. That nice smell. I love the smell of that perfume. It's the smell of You can do it. Try to remember, Owen. Ooh, the smell of ooh. And then he died. Owen. He died of psychoanalysis. Mantis. It seems Owen is now resting in the infirmary. They certainly have their hands full today down there. Let's continue with the trial. Despite Owen's testimony, it is the opinion of this humble servant of the Holy Mother that the child's words were insufficient to clear the accused of suspicion. But what about the scent of perfume Owen mentioned? I believe it's a clue that will lead us to the true culprit. But there are thousands of perfumes in the world. Good point, Your Honor. I was thinking of calling every single person in the world who wears perfume as a witness. We'll just fit them all into we're having court inside of a TARDIS, aren't we? It's bigger on the inside. We can fit the whole world population in here. It could even be the scent of the hair product the accused uses. Ah, don't do it. Don't do it, game. Uh-oh. This is where it gets dangerous. Oh, wait. Now it's fine. It was Jean-Baptiste Who? I don't know who that is. Is that from Les Mis? Who knows? Nobody knows. Alright. He does have one amazing hairstyle, so that's certainly possible. The witness is a 5-year-old boy. Objection. He cannot tell the difference between conventional perfumes and hair products. Arg! Why couldn't you have gone for a crew cut or something, Bucky? What's more, the only person who can cut soba noodles with such precision. Oh! That was also a movie, right? I actually saw that. That was a messed up movie. Is the accused, and no other. Oh man, how am I supposed to argue with that? And so, the person Owen saw at the scene of the crime can only be the accused, Bucky Webb. What the? Hey. I never use hair products or anything with a smell. If I wore something like that, the smell would get into the soba. Boom, check it.
I can't do it if you're watching. If you
Blind umpire, you're here just in time for lunch.
Alright. Can't do it if you're leering at me. It's creepy.
The defendant just delivered soba to everybody. It's probably gross now because we've been in court all day and he's just been holding it, and it's not going to be cold or warm. I don't know what temperature you eat them at, but it'll be the wrong temperature. Only one person on Earth is capable of cutting things in straight lines, and it's definitely the most inebriated person in this courtroom who is standing on wheels. Both work. You can eat them hot or cold, but not medium. Mr. Wet, aren't you supposed to be resting in the infirmary?
Whatever. You think I'd let my soba stink of perfume? Try that chilled soba for yourself and see.
It is chilled. I believe we have no choice but to try it, strictly for examination purposes, of course. Now then, let's dig in, shall we? Bucky had poisoned the soba, all of us died, and he got away.
That was delightful.
Well, I'm satisfied that there are no traces of hair products or perfumes in Mr. Wet's soba. First, sweet bean buns, and now savory soba. What a delectable trial this has been. If he's carrying them in boxes, it would be cold soba, and they just said it. Heaven forbid I get a snack. Oh, innocence. Nobody's turned into sand. That would be if not poison, he'll definitely use the weapon that turns people into sand. That's his backup. That's his backup plan if we didn't eat the soba. This texture is different from the soba I had the other day. It reminds me of a dish we have in Kurang called Banu Poon? Banu Poon.
What's dig, Miss Chickadee? My soba's pretty good, isn't it?
It's delicious. Don't you think so, Simon?
It still pales in comparison to his late father's cuisine. Simon, why you always gotta be so hard on me?
Bailiff, take the defendant back to the infirmary at once for some rest.
Rest? Hey, I ain't a lump of plain old weedy udon dough, you know. I'm fresh like my soba. You don't let soba dough rest. It's about the 3 freshes of soba. Grind the seeds fresh, cut the dough fresh, and boil the noodles.
This texture is different because the dough wasn't used to strangle a guy. Are we sure? Are we sure about that? Maybe we just ate the real victim. Of course. Taifu Tornado is still alive, and we just ate the real victim. Got it. Good grief, what a defendant. At least Bucky wasn't the source of the perfume smell. Wait, smelly perfume?
It looks like you remembered something.
The phrase smelly perfume reminded me of a certain somebody. Oh, and who might that be? There's only one we just said there's thousands of perfumes and billions of perfume wearers in the world. Did you think of one? Did you think of one of them? Are you wearing perfume? You. I'm presenting yourself. You're not in there. Damn. I guess it's her. Who cares?
Gale Tornado. Yes, she did smell very nice, didn't she?
I don't recall. Just a moment, defense. You would throw suspicion on Geru now because of a scent. Smelly parfum. Please no. Only one person. Your Honor, there is no need to go along with these ever-changing claims of the defense. Other than the fact that for the past several years, every single time a defense attorney has come up with various claims, the last one they come up with is always the thing that gets the person off the hook. Has anyone been prosecuted successfully? Well, no, I guess he does come from a country where nobody has won a court case in 23 years, so that's one thing.
I suppose their claims have been awfully inconsistent.
But Geru could have been at the crime scene.
Yes, but...
You'll get to see those balloons of hers if we call her back to the witness stand. How vulgar. You should object. This is maybe the first time in the whole game that somebody should object and didn't. How vulgar. His Honor is not interested in such things. Think about it. Setting the matter of her balloons aside entirely, I do believe it's appropriate to ask Geiru some questions, given the circumstances. This has nothing to do with her balloon. Alright. The culprit was wearing clown makeup. Clearly, the accused put it on. Thank you, Your Honor. Polkunka! Thank you for calling this disciple of the Tornado School of Rakugo back for an encore. It's me, the balloon artist you all love, Gale Tornado. 1, 2, balloon. That nod. What wonderful balloon artistry. Your Honor, please. Now then, what would you like me to make for you this time? Oh, did you miss the clown last time, Faded? There's a clown. She sits around the traditional all-American kotatsu and does all-American rakugo dressed as a clown. Actually, I called you back for more testimony. But I'm all talked out. This case has left me completely deflated. You also missed the clown. Was nobody here for the clown? What? You didn't find that funny? Anyway, what exactly is going on, Simon?
It seems the person who mastered. It seems the person who murdered Master Tornado was wearing perfume.
And you were the only person I've ever heard of who wears perfume. Wait, you mean I'm a suspect now? Geiru, you knew about Owen, right? Well, yes. I often played with him at Shisho's request. I just forgot to start the stream that day. So that means you could have left that fake dying message, right? What? Just because I wear perfume and know Owen, you think I'm a murderer? Oh, how could you? The witness is absolutely right, with no evidence but the distorted memories of a small child. It is outrageous of the defense to accuse this woman. We keep referring to Wendo as a 5-year-old child when he's actually a full-grown adult with a mental disability. That is maybe even a better case than if it was I mean, 5-year-olds know what's going on. They do. They're smart. Most of them are anime protagonists who wind up saving the world. That's right. You don't even have any proof. You may step down from the stand, Geiru. The defense does not have one scrap of evidence that connects you to the crime. That's it! Scrap! That popped balloon that was next to the corpse. Wait just 1 minute. I may not have proof, but Owen's testimony is still... Enough. Please feel free to leave, Geiru. But I'm so close. There must be something I can do. Well, if the prosecutor says it's okay, then I guess I'll be going now.
Silence.
This is quite a leap of logic.
Oi, Geiru, you're an entertainer, aren't you? Once you go on stage, it's your duty to complete your performance, is it not? So what are you doing, leaving halfway through?
Well, that's convenient. There's a bandage on Geiru's forehead. And since we know that Master Tornado's killer has a cut on their face somewhere, we actually don't. That's a complete assumption on our part. They could have had the cut somewhere else. They also could have just been carrying around a bunch of blood for no reason. Or it doesn't even have to be blood. It could be ketchup. He could have had ketchup on his It always goes somewhere. We definitely skipped a step here.
Impossible.
How did you know, Simon?
I didn't, but I had to take a chance and see for myself. Otherwise, your theory would remain a groundless accusation.
So wait, so he just now, he's like, I didn't know for sure, but I did do that intentionally. I intentionally threw a feather in order to not pop the balloon, but deflate it upwards into her hair so that we could see her forehead. Genius. Your Honor, Prosecutor Sadmati, the scent of perfume, an injury on the forehead. These things are completely consistent with Owen's testimony. It could have been a vampire. It could have been somebody channeling a vampire. Who is a spirit medium? Uh-oh. In short, the mysterious individual Owen saw in the dressing room could have been Geiru. No self-respecting classic American Rakugo practitioner would sully classic American soba with weird foreign ketchup. I withdraw my statement, sir.
Ms. Sykes, does this mean you are formally indicting this witness for the murder of Taifu Tornado?
Is that something that defense attorneys can do? They can formally indict someone? I always thought we were just playing fast and loose. I didn't realize that there were rules for this. Should your accusation prove to be false, I hope you are prepared to pay the price in full. I didn't actually go to law school, so I don't know what happens if I indict someone and they're found innocent. Do I get the death penalty? Simon, what price is he talking about?
I thought that should be obvious. Prosecutor Sadmonk is saying he'll see to it you never stand in a court of law again. I must say, though, he knows how to make a trial interesting.
Nothing this game ever does is real. The defense cannot prove others guilty. I love this idea. Not only can we indict someone, but if we indict them and then it turns out that they are not proven guilty, that is in and of itself worthy of being disbarred. Just whose side are you on, Simon?
Go on then, into the deep end with you. You really have but one choice anyway.
Well, Miss Sykes, I'm waiting. With regards to the witness, Geiru Tornado, the defense wishes to indict her. There's no reason for me to hold back, not if I really believe in my client. The defense wishes to formally indict Geiru Tornado for the murder of Taifu Tornado.
I have tried to be merciful, but now not even your pleas will reach the Holy Mother's ears. You will have plenty of time to regret your decision in the pit of hell.
Except I won't need to. The person who murdered the victim was not Mr. Wet. It was Gale Tornado. That bandages... It's just from a silly slip-up I made while cooking yesterday, that's all. What kind of extreme cooking were you doing to cut yourself on the forehead? Well, what can I say? That's what happened. You also don't have an alibi for the period before 4 p.m., do you, Geiru? But I really didn't know anything was wrong until Shisho was found dead. If you don't believe me, then with a twisty twist. And bloom, there you have it, an adorable little kitty. How could you suspect a cutesy little balloon artist like me, Geiru, I've been meaning to say this for a while now, but could it be that you don't have an eye for balloon art? You think I don't know that? You didn't have to come out and say it. I'm the daughter of a great Rakugo artist. I never wanted to do stupid balloon art. I was supposed to be a Rakugo storyteller too, just like my late daddy who died of anime. But Shisho told me to do balloon art instead. It made me so mad that I just wanted him to die. I guess the victim thought she had no talent as a Rakugo artist either. So you're still gonna suspect a poor little thing like me? Please stop trying to skirt the issue. It all comes down to the scent of perfume and the cut on your forehead. You and the culprit in Owen's testimony share these two traits. You're dead set on accusing me, aren't you? Well, here's what I have for naughty little girls like you. With a twisty twist, it better not be a weapon. She gonna shoot me? I'ma cut you, witch! Go ahead and make me testify all you want. When the truth's revealed, it'll be your balloon or mine that goes pop. Got it? Oh my, is this yet another hidden personality? Simon, is everybody in the tornado school like this? How should I know? There we go again. Weapon in the courtroom again. Stop doing that. Yeah, I visited the dressing room during that... While I'm reading even? Come on. Stop. Stop. I'll read it when we do it the next time. Since I clicked one by accident. What I did before I murdered him. She's really putting the loon in balloon. That was great, sir. I like it. So Geiru's saying she went into the dressing room, but then left right away.
Don't take her at her word.
Come on, do you really think I would? I'm just trying to figure out how to get her to talk about what really happened.
Now then, Miss Sykes, you may proceed with your cross-examination.
Alright, so what was the testimony? She's still gonna do it. Yeah, I visited the dressing room during that time to make a courtesy call after my act. Shisho and Owen were in there, but they were both snoring up a storm. I saw the note Shisho left, so I just left. Didn't want to disturb him, you know. The perfume Owen smelled must have been left over from when I visited. Reasonable.
Hold it!
Where did you find your master's note? I don't know. Can't remember. Did you notice anything else unusual or out of place in the room? Well, there was the sake and the half-eaten manju on the table, but I didn't see anything else out of place or whatever in the room, though.
Oh, is that a fact?
Of course it is. What do you think?
And you didn't change anything around while you were in there?
I didn't do anything. Look, I'm telling you. Okay, so it's the TV. We're gonna add to the testimony. Nothing was out of place in the room. I didn't see anything funny near Shisho, and I didn't touch anything in the room.
Your boldness, I request that that statement be added to Geiru's testimony.
Simon! What's a statement like that going to do for us?
Just play along, and you'll see soon enough.
Ugh.
I have no problem with adding that to the testimony, but how about you, Miss Sykes?
I have no problem with it either, Your Honor. What is Simon thinking? I didn't see anything funny near Shisho, and I didn't touch anything in the room. But the TV...
Objection!
There we go. Athena, you dunce. The player already figured it out. Gay, you said you didn't notice anything odd or unusual near your master. You also said you didn't touch anything in the dressing room. That's right. What about it? Then I wonder who left that dying message with the Karuta cards. What are you going on about? It had to be that Bucky. It had to been that Bucky. Sorry, but that's not possible, because only 3 people knew of Wendo's personalities. Wendo, your master, and you, and presumably the doctor who he goes to for it? Or is it untreated? Eek!
If Bucky had left that Karuta message, He wouldn't have spelled out Owen. He would have spelled out window.
What it boils down to is this. As a member of the Tornado School, you, Geiru Tornado, are the only one who could have left that dying message. And as a person who left that message, it's clear that you are Master Tornado's killer. This is another gigantic leap. Grog! Will you ever quit your yapping? You are like wretches clinging to the spider thread of salvation. Allow me to cut that holy thread from the heavens and bring you back down to earth. Would you quit butting in whenever things start to go my way? You're like some kind of lawyer. Silence, child. Playtime is over. What did you just say? As the witness stated, she went into the dressing room and soon came back out again. But the victim's note was not the only reason she left with such haste. There was another reason that compelled Geiru to leave at once. Geiru, would you please relate said reason to the court? There was a reason why Geiru had to leave the dressing room. Also, what's the deal with the TV? Well, I didn't want to show you this, but I guess I got no choice. Keep your eyes peeled, because here it comes. Your hand is all swollen and red. What happened, Geiru? If you must know, I'm allergic to... Fucking, we just said... We just, minutes ago, established that the killer held buckwheat dough in order to strangle the guy. And you're like, I'm allergic to buckwheat. Just look at these blisters all over my hands from touching buckwheat. Also, why are we surprised? Why are we astonished and heartbroken? Allergic reactions to buckwheat can vary, but they're usually on the severe side. Pitch shifter, hello. This is a very, very strange case. With Taifu Tornado making soba noodles in his dressing room, Geiru is lucky to still be alive, considering all the soba flour that was swirling in the air. Good thing I left pretty quick. I managed to escape with just a mild reaction. But I touched Shisho as he was being carried away, and look what it did to my poor hands. Very strange. There must have been soba broth on his clothes or something. If I'd inhaled any of that soba flour, I'd had a seizure, and it'd been good night, Geiru. I never could have stayed in that dressing room for very long. A person allergic to buckwheat couldn't be in a room with soba flour in the air, and certainly couldn't use soba dough as a murder weapon either. It's, like, that level of allergy? That if you touched the dough, it would kill you and not just give you a rash? Yeah, they're referring... Each of his students is referring to him as Shisho. This isn't good.
You knew it would come to this, didn't you? That's why you never mentioned her allergy.
As if I would do anything so underhanded. I was simply trying to protect the privacy of this witness. Well, there is no translation for soba. I mean, we call it soba too, don't we? I guess. I'm sick of all these accusations. Why don't I just testify and get it all out in the open, yeah? Geiru's buckwheat allergy. If I come into the slightest contact with buckwheat, I get an allergic reaction. And with that much soba flour in the air, that room could have literally killed me. Look at my hand. Just touching Shisho's body caused this much damage. There must have been soba broth on his clothes, so I never could have committed that murder in the dressing room. I still can't believe it. Nobody told me she had a soba allergy. Did you know, Simon?
Does it look like I knew? Protect the privacy of the witness. My foot! What a dirty trick!
Now what do we do?
There's only one thing to do. Put Prosecutor Sadmonk to shame with your cross-examination.
Right. No matter how small, I'll find us an opening and break her testimony down. So, okay, if I come into the slightest contact with buckwheat, I get an allergic reaction. With that much soba flour in the air... Was there a lot of soba flour in the air?
Hold it!
I'll give you that... Okay, apparently yes, we're just conceding that point. I'll give you that there was quite a bit of flour scattered about in that dressing room, but you went in to pay your respects to Master regardless, right? Yeah, but like I said, I came right back out. I mean, the soba-making tools were right there. You better believe I was careful not to breathe any of it in. But you still could have committed this murder if you'd held your breath while doing it. Don't be ridiculous. I would have suffocated to death before Shisho did. Yeah, I guess you're right. Jeez, get a grip, will ya? What if she put a balloon over her face and just breathed into the balloon the whole time? Got him. We got it. Alright, show me your hand. Maybe there's a twist here, like you're actually allergic to dogs and not soba? You kidding? Bring my little Jugemu in here. I'll hug and squeeze him like there's no tomorrow. I'm telling you, I have a genuine, honest-to-goodness soba allergy. Defense, the witness clearly has an authentic allergy to buckwheat. Any further deliberation on the matter would be meaningless, pointless, worthless. You heard the man, lawyer girl. Quick, present her diving certificate to prove that she can hold her breath for that long. What if you were more Benadryl than clown that day? Oh, right, fine. I was just starting to think the same thing myself. Doesn't mean I have to like it, though. I probably got this allergic reaction on my hand here because I touched Shisho. Now, do we actually... We don't... I mean, I guess if it's spilled that way, then no, there shouldn't be any soba broth on his clothes. Let's get a little more info. I have a question about that, actually. If you're allergic to soba, does that mean you're allergic to the noodle broth, too? Well, the buckwheat from the noodles can dissolve into the broth, so duh. Touching soba broth can be just as deadly for me. Don't you know anything? What an amateur. I'm sorry, I skipped that chapter of the law book. Do I look like a doctor to you? Look, anything that has soba in it, or that anything that has touched soba is like poison to me. So I never could have committed that murder in the dressing room. Maybe you murdered him somewhere else and then brought him in. I don't know. So I just want to cover all of my bases, but could the murder have possibly occurred somewhere other than the dressing room?
Objection.
And they're gonna say no. That is out of the question. By even asking, you show your complete disregard for all we have discussed until now.
Yes, I have to agree. The defense can't go around suggesting new premises without basis.
Unfortunately for you, Shisho didn't take a single step from his dressing room around the time of the murder. Well, that is unfortunate for everyone. I don't see any particular inconsistencies in her testimony. And she seems to be telling the truth about her buckwheat allergy.
What is your point?
My point is, I can't find a single foothold.
Well, if you can't find one, make one.
Lawman's Book of Law, Chapter 8. Chapter 8, Section 13. That sounds like a pretty big book. I didn't think you had to study that hard to be a lawyer. You want me to just make up some baseless accusation?
When will you stop behaving like such an amateur? If you don't do something fast, the trial will end here.
I know. I can't let that happen. I have to do something. Anything. Okay, I didn't press on the first one, so let's do that. Just in case, because once in a while they'll throw you one where there is no inconsistency and you just have to press on every statement in order to proceed. Oh, that's right, it's in Lawman's Book of Law, but her degree is in psychology and feeling emotions. The other route to getting an attorney's badge, right. You can just do either one. You're not lying about this soba allergy of yours, right? Of course not. I swear on the grave of my father up in heaven. I can even get you a doctor's certificate if you want. That would be appropriate. I mean... She seems to be telling the truth. I've had this allergy for as long as I can remember, but I never dreamt in a million years it'd clear me of murder. And you'll come out of this smelling like a delicate buckwheat flour to boot. Well said, Your Honor. Oh, that's exactly what it was. We just had to press on everything. Okay, now what happens? Geiru could not have possibly committed this crime in a room where soba was being made. She presents the death certificate for his father. See, he's dead. Told you I'm allergic. Finally, the time has come for the last rites of the victim to begin. What would Mr. Wright do at a time like this? I'll guess. There's only one thing to do.
What are you smiling about? Has the pressure overwhelmed you?
Nope. It's just the worst of times are when lawyers have to force their biggest smiles. I see. You have no rebuttal, and so the only thing left to you is to smile. Oh, ho, 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 ho. That's where you're wrong. I do have a rebuttal. Turn your thinking around, Athena. Don't try to figure out how Geiru, who is allergic to soba, could commit the crime. Figure out how Geiru could be in that room and not have an allergic reaction instead. Gas mask.
Let me rest. Maybe if I were a lump of regular flour dough for udon noodles. But I'm fresh, like my soba. You don't let soba dough rest. It's all about the three freshes. Grind the buckwheat seeds fresh. Cut the dough fresh. Boil the noodles He's blacked out.
It appears to have been written by the victim. Allow me to read it. Resting. Do not disturb. Yes, that's the note I saw. After reading that, who wouldn't think Shisha was napping? If you must know, I'm allergic to buckwheat. My whole trial is flashing before my eyes. Mon Dieu! What if that certain piece of evidence doesn't mean what we think it means? The note? If that's the case, I might be able to prove that Geiru committed this crime. No matter how hard you search your mind, you cannot overturn facts. Udon goofed. I like it. Udon. The attorney's badge clearly doesn't mean what... That's actually probably the most correct statement. More than anything else, this attorney's badge doesn't mean what I think it means.
Well, Miss Sykes, if you have no further objections, I'll hand down my ruling.
True, I can't overturn facts, but what if we got our facts about a piece of evidence wrong? Got our facts wrong. What are you talking about now?
And which piece of evidence do you mean, Miss Sykes? Please, point it out to this court.
This evidence proves that Gelu could have killed her master, even with her soba allergy. Is it... The dumplings are gonna have something to do with it. Eventually. So they did they did a flashback where they showed this note and they also went over the 3 freshes. So is it going to be that, like, he hadn't started making the soba yet? Here they, like, usually I'm right on par or I'm a little ahead of them. But here I think they might have, like, asked me to make a big leap. Serp thinks he gets it. The room really is covered in soba flour. I don't think I get it, so I'm just going to present this and we're going to see what happens.
Take that!
Okay, it's Master Tornado's note and I don't know why. Hehe, Maji. Ijimodo. Kimoi. It's Master Tornado's note.
The note?
Preposterous. What possible connection could there be between the witness's allergy and that note? The answer lies in the true meaning of this note.
Its true meaning?
This note does not mean I am resting, do not disturb, as we had assumed. But rather it actually means this dough is resting, do not disturb it.
Wait a minute, Athena. That doesn't make any sense. Your badge is made of chocolate after all. You are no lawyer.
You're right, it doesn't. After all, as Bucky told us many a time, you don't let soba rest. What's all this jibber-jabber got to do with anything? Wait, were they not... Is that it? That he was like, oh, maybe I won't have soba today. I'll have udon, which isn't made with buckwheat flour. We didn't test the flour that's all over the room to see if it was actually soba flour. Maybe. This is it. The home stretch. This note and Mr. Wet's words have led me to the conclusion that Master Tornado was making udon noodles. The victim, Taifu Tornado, was not making buckwheat noodles. He was making ordinary udon noodles instead. Polkunka! That layer of flour in the dressing room wasn't soba flour, but plain old wheat flour for udon. So actually, it was totally possible for Geiru to be in that room and kill her master. What? Yeah, I guess they're saying udon is made from wheat flour, but soba is made from buckwheat flour, and that's what she is allergic to, buckwheat. I don't know what those two things are called in Japanese. But if that's true, it changes everything. Your Honor, the defense requests that the flour in the room be tested immediately. But soba noodles were found in the bowl, and Geiru did have a reaction on her hand. How do you explain those things? Well... Even were it udon flour instead of soba, you still cannot prove Geiru committed the crime. But...
Don't lose your nerve now. Keep charging forward, or you'll feel my blade at your back.
Enough with the threats already, I got it. Talk about pressure. Alright, Athena. Take a deep breath and go over everything again. Oh, it's time to logic dive. I'm going to revisualize the case from start to finish. I have to find conclusive evidence that Geiru committed this murder. What was Master Tornado making? We already answered ramen. Please. Who eats ramen? Komugiko. By my logic, Master Tornado must have been making udon noodles in his dressing room, but something at the crime scene indicates otherwise. What was found in the bowl on the table? Soba. There was soba in the bowl. Even though the master wasn't making soba, soba noodles were found at the scene. So that means the noodles had to have come from somewhere. Wait a minute. One mysterious serving of soba noodles? That sounds familiar. Where did the soba on the bowl on the table? I don't think Geiru made it. Did he have? I don't remember them saying that he had a stock of soba noodles. Is that why the fridge is open? The refrigerator is open. I'm just gonna say this. Sure, there we go. If that was established, it was established a long time ago. If only there was some... That's what I would have said. They said a catering service, and I'm like, I don't think that's what... The soba noodles found at the scene were from the master's stock of uncooked noodles, but then why would the culprit go out of her way to cook that soba and put it into the bowl? She likes soba. She's a huge soba fan. No, to hide the udon dough. All this murdering has made me hungry. Hungry for the only food that I am deathly allergic to, that I'll die if I even look at it. Soba was found at the scene, so that means the culprit must have taken the udon with her to hide it. Oh, and she fed it to the dog, right? But why did the culprit take the udon away and hide it? It must have been because she has a grudge against udon. No, she killed him with the... Oh, no. She killed him with the udon dough. The murder weapon was udon dough. Okay. I thought it was I said early on, I bet he really choked on some mochi because it's very chewy. It's easy to choke on it. Pitch told me all about that. That's it. The udon dough was the real weapon used to kill Taifu Tornado. And the reason why no weapon was found is because Geiru got rid of the dough somehow. But we already know. She made dumplings and fed them to her dog. The real murder weapon was the udon dough the victim made. If we can find this dough, that'll prove my theory correct. And undeniably prove Geiru's guilt. Even if we could find this dough, what makes you think it would prove she is the one? Please recall Owen's eyewitness testimony, Prosecutor Sadmati. Yeah, have there been any weirder murder weapons? There have been lots and lots of murders in this game. Nothing comes to mind, but somebody... This was a nice you done it. If the injury on Geiru's forehead was caused by the victim's knife, then Geiru's blood must have dripped down onto the dough used as the murder weapon. That would make the dough pretty conclusive evidence, wouldn't you agree? But where is this conclusive evidence? Let us hear your theory on where this murder weapon is. Well, it's... If I can't find the answer in the evidence I have on hand, we'll lose this trial. So how did Geiru get rid of the udon dough? Think, Athena, what do I have that points to suspicious behavior on Geiru's part? Now then, Miss Sykes, let's hear your answer. Where is the real murder weapon hidden? Nice bark. Are you hinting? Prosecutor Blackwell, please use !hide if you would like to discuss what you think is the real answer. Nice barking you did there. I assume you have the bite to back it up. Stop distracting me, especially not right now. This piece of evidence can point us to the location of the hidden murder weapon. Where was it? His testimony? Simon's statement. Yep. Before Bucky came to the theater, Geiru was outside feeding her dog a number of dumplings. The dog buried his leftovers in the yard.
Take that!
Oh my god, the gravel swims. Oh, man. Geiru. Huh? What is it? I'm just an innocent girl. I don't know anything about a murder. Stuff that cute act in your balloon hat. Geiru got rid of the dough she used to kill Master Tornado in a bold and daring way. She did it right in front of Prosecutor Blackwell's nose by feeding it to her dog. No, I... Of course, now it all makes sense. I was puzzled as to why Geiru, who should know her own dog's eating habits, would feed Jugemu more than he could possibly finish. Your Honor, please order an investigation of the yard right now. And what should the police at the theater be looking for, exactly? Jugemu must have buried his leftover dumplings somewhere around his doghouse. Dumplings that Geiru made out of the udon dough with her blood in it. Grog! This is preposterous. I want to thank you, Simon. If you hadn't kept me going, I might have given up along the way.
What are you blathering on about? You still have work to do. After all, she cooked that stuff, and we can't DNA test it anymore, probably. Now, by your hand, finish this wretched case off, Athena.
You got it. Geiru, do you remember what you said would happen when the truth is finally revealed? When the truth's revealed, It'll be your balloon or mine that goes pop. Got it? Well, now the truth is out, and it looks to me like it's your balloon that goes pop. Okay. Broken car! I'm a Rakugo artist. I was the one who was supposed to inherit that name. But then, Shisho. Boo. Why are my balloons bursting? Daddy, are you mad at me? I've been a bad girl. Okay. Are you ready to tell us everything now, Kate? The whole reason I entered the world of Rakugo in the first place was to follow in my father's wonderful footsteps and inherit his stage name. Hair's not even pink. Charlatan! That was an impressive breakdown. Sometimes they're disappointing. That one had a good payoff. His stage name? You don't mean
Window Tornado.
I knew I wasn't very good at storytelling, but I thought that if I did the stupid balloon thing like Shisho wanted, I'd inherit the name someday. But Master Tornado gave the name to his junior disciple. Yeah, that's why I took my revenge on Shisho during the show celebrating the name succession. So that was your entire motive? I doubt anybody else could understand, but inheriting my father's name was everything to me. It was my whole reason for living. Did we know that they're all family? I don't even remember. I thought they were just, working under him.
Of all the days you could have taken your revenge, why did you choose the day of the show?
You already had a pun name. Gale, you get it? Because I wanted to pay back Wendo I wanted to pay Wendo back for stealing what was rightfully mine. I wanted to pin the blame on him at the show, where all the Tornado fans were gathered. But then, Wendo tried to shift the blame onto Bucky Wet, and now we know the whole story.
There's just one more thing I want to know. Did you know Master Tornado was making udon in his dressing room yesterday?
No, I didn't. When I saw the soba-making tools, I was worried about my allergy. But it was my only chance to get revenge on the two of them. So I went ahead and did it.
So it was a premeditated crime, but in the end, you only went through with it on impulse.
Oh, her father, not Shisho, just had a stage name that I guess Shisho was allowed to pass on to a worthy disciple. I see. And most Rakugo are male. I see. So it was a I already read that.
Then the allergic reaction on your hand. Is it from touching the soba in the refrigerator with your bare hands, when you were tampering with the crime scene after your master's death?
Yeah. By that time, I wasn't clear-headed enough to worry about my allergy.
Geiru, how could you do all this, you baka?
Gator. I get your desire to inherit your father's name. But what you really should have inherited from him wasn't his name, but his heart. His heart? Also, yes, that's the other thing I was thinking the whole time, is why, if you were going to commit a murder and you had gloves that you already wore all the time, why wouldn't you just keep them on?
Do you have anything to add, Prosecutor Sadmati? Any objections?
No, Your Honor. Ms. Athena Sykes. Yes? That's the first time he's used my name. I shall be sure to remember your name. Really?
It seems he finally recognizes you as a proper adversary.
Thanks. That's all I ask, Prosecutor Sadmati.
It looks like there are no further objections. Bailiff, please bring in the defendant.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's true. She wasn't wearing the clown outfit while she murdered, although she should have. It would have been funnier that way.
Ah, good. It seems you've made a full recovery. Now then, the court finds the defendant, Bucky Wet, not guilty.
Yeah, this trial was 1 day with no investigation, so whatever the final case is, it's going to be long. That's going to be all next week. Although, I mean, we'll start it now. I've still got another hour and a half to stream.
This court is adjourned.
Wonderful. Good job. You found another killer the only possible way to clear anyone of murder. Congratulations, Bucky. I'm so glad you were found innocent. Yeah, and he can never put down the soba cases. He always has to carry them. Forever. Thanks for everything, Miss Chickadee. But it still sucks that you were accused of a crime you didn't commit. Did Wendo have it out for you or something?
I don't think so. Wendo said it was a spur-of-the-moment idea when he saw the soba-themed cards.
Simon, where have you been?
I stopped in at Wendo's questioning. Only you, Bucky, could get framed for a crime on a whim.
Well, that was a sobering experience. Very well. Oh, because he is sober now.
No way. I almost got convicted out of convenience.
Well, at least you've been completely cleared of all charges, so buck up, Bucky. On a more important note than being cleared of murder charges, what I really want to know is, why didn't Master Tornado let Garu inherit her father's name?
What do you mean on a more important note, Ms. Chickadee?
Oh, don't be such a wet blanket. Just go with the flow. Now, come on. You think the Master was trying to encourage her to quit the entertainment business? We accused this guy for the puns. We don't have a story reason for it.
No, that's not it. He didn't give the name to her because he wanted Garu to find her own calling in life. To perform whatever she wanted without being bound by her father's name or Rakugo. Making udon was his way of showing his support for her in her new endeavor. What?
I don't get it. So that's why he called you to the theater, huh? To teach him how to make udon?
A more roundabout way I've never seen, but that's Master Tornado for you.
So this entire incident happened because of a misunderstanding? How sad. Nah, I just wanted to eat some udon. His ghost, probably. We can find out for sure. We have people who can spirit channel him back.
By the way, Gator wasn't the only person Master Tornado was trying to cheer on, even though the person in question still seems unaware of the Master's intentions. What? You talking about me? Come on, no way. All that old man ever did was criticize my Soba.
That's not true, Bucky. There must be a way to make Bucky see just how much Master Tornado cared about him. This never came into... Did this... What was the deal with this? It's got to be this, because we never used it, right? If I don't think it's the deed for the soba shop. The deed holder is Bucky Wet. I forget why... Why did he have this? He was going to give it to... Right? He was going to give it to him? Yes. Take a good look, Bucky. Whose name is on there as the holder of this title deed?
It's still in my name.
No, you can't fail these. Anytime they have the after trial thing, you only get one chance, so you can't retry it unless you saved. But there's no consequences to them.
Master Tornado was just up to one of his tricks when he said he stole the shop from you. He was trying to force you to grow into a truly capable owner in your father's stead.
He probably used some tough love on you so that the shop wouldn't just go belly up. The judge calls you back in and declares Bucky guilty, of course. Of course that's how it works.
Ew. I see. I never knew. Oh, Master Tornado, I'm so sorry. Keep working hard, Bucky, and pay him back by living up to his expectations. Thanks, Simey. And you too, Ms. Chickadee.
I heard you weren't able to encourage Bucky out in the lobby. Time for jail.
One day my soba's gonna be so good it'll knock that old man's socks clean off. After all, I'm the 4th generation owner of Wet Soba, Wet Noodle number 4. Well, I'd better be getting back to my shop. I gotta get ready for the lunch rush.
Hold on. Could I place an order for delivery, Bucky?
Yes, Miss Chickadee?
Could you deliver a bowl of udon to Geiru on behalf of her master?
You got it. I'll make sure it's got all the TLC Master Tornado would have packed in it, too.
Thank you.
Well, see you. Be sure to drop by the shop sometime.
I will, and I'll bring the whole agency with me. We'll go there during the credits.
Do us all proud, Bucky. I'll have the best soba in town waiting for you when you come. Peace out.
Oh yeah, that actually came up in the trial. That he said, I don't use any styling product. Because if he did, then I guess we would have found him guilty. because Owen smelled perfume on the murderer. And then before he could say who it was, he passed out. And we have to find we have to declare someone guilty before he wakes up, apparently. That's how court works. Yeah, he doesn't he said he doesn't want the scent to affect the taste of the noodles. Ah, it's nice to see somebody giving it their all, isn't it? I wonder if I leveled up any thanks to this case. Oh, if she levels up, she gets all her HP and MP back.
Don't kid yourself. The trial would have been a spectacle and a half had I not been by your side.
You don't know that.
For a lawyer who's versed in psychology, you're too full of weak points. You need to learn to analyze yourself more objectively.
Or you could just teach me your famous mind tricks, Simon.
No.
Way to shut someone down, and why not?
Because the more pesky lawyers there are, the harder my job becomes. So it's in my best interest for you to remain green forever.
Hey, What about what's in my best interest, huh? Besides, weren't you the one who had the wool pulled over your eyes by Wendo? See, there's a good, we're learning English, well, I'm not learning them, but we can learn English expressions through Phoenix Wright. Pulling the wool over someone's eyes means fooling them. Aren't you the one who had the wool pulled over your eyes by Wendo?
Must you remind me? How could I have known Wendo would do time soba?
Hey, speaking of time soba, I just thought of something funny.
Oh, goody. I can't wait.
Okay, here it is. In time soba, why didn't Mon number 9 get counted? Come on, do you know, Simon?
How should I know?
Because, wait! Okay, it's a dumb joke. It's a very stupid joke. But somebody also actually said that in the chat. I'm positive. During the time sober routine. He's Faded Oasis made the joke last week. And it wasn't funny then. Thank you. I'll be here all week. Raffle.
That I should have known. Come on. Let's go get soba or something and go home.
Faded spoiling again. Somebody ban him. Your treat?
I'll treat you to 50% of the tab, and don't forget, you still owe me for that manju.
Really, Simon? It wouldn't hurt for you to pay for me once in a while. Oh, it wouldn't hurt for you to pay for me every once in a while, you know.
Quit squawking and start walking, Athena.
Hey, wait for me. I may still have a ways to go as a lawyer, but just like Mr. Wright, Apollo, and Simon before me, I'm going to get there someday. After all, I've inherited their passion for our courts and the law. Je peux le faire. I can do this. Doodle 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 doo.